Alex Fine had always been the quiet strength behind Cassie. He wasn't flashy, didn't chase headlines, and rarely spoke up in public. But when the courtroom transcripts hit the streets last week, something cracked in him. And this time, people noticed. Cameras caught him wiping away tears after stepping out of a hearing, and suddenly everyone started asking, what exactly did he hear in that courtroom that hit so deep? Turns out, it wasn't just the details about Diddy. That part he already knew. Cassie had opened up to him years ago about the manipulation, the threats, the abuse. What caught him off guard was everything that hadn't been said before. The full extent of what went down during those so-called freak-offs, the number of people involved, and Cassie's own role in orchestrating parts of it. Not as a victim, but as someone who might have helped set things in motion. And now, the internet is split down the middle. See, while Cassie testified that she was forced into degrading acts, being urinated on, being coerced into things she clearly didn't want, Clayton Dave, Howard's lawsuit paints a completely different picture. According to him, Cassie wasn't just caught in Diddy's storm, she was part of it, the mastermind behind some of it, the one who made the calls, booked the rooms, paid the escort. And now, with more men reportedly preparing to come forward, Alex is stuck trying to figure out who the woman he married really is. Back when Cassie first broke free of Diddy and took her story public, Alex was her biggest supporter. He defended her publicly, praised her courage, and made it clear she didn't need saving because she saved herself. That quote went viral, "Cassie saved Cassie." But now fans are throwing that same line back at him. Not with admiration, but with sarcasm. Because let's be honest, he didn't sign up for this. A courtroom full of people hearing about how Cassie allegedly directed escorts, picked out outfits for them, and even forced one of them to perform acts while she was on her period. One of those escorts, Dave, claims Cassie gave him an STI, and if that wasn't enough, he says she got pregnant with his child and terminated it without his consent. For Alex, it's not just messy, it's humiliating. People are clowning him online, calling him names, questioning his manhood, his marriage, even his fatherhood. What's worse is that all of this comes right after Diddy managed to dodge the biggest charges in the federal case. The timing of Dave's civil lawsuit feels almost strategic, like he was just waiting for the dust to settle before he made his move. And when he did, he came with the kind of receipts that make people pay attention. Text messages, locations, timelines, and a narrative that flips everything we thought we knew. To be fair, nobody's saying Alex didn't know Cassie had a past, but what's hitting him hard is the scope of it. Not just the number of men, reportedly more than 10, but the details about how some of those freak-offs were arranged, how Cassie might have participated willingly, or worse, how she might have enjoyed the power she had over those men. That's the part that's eating at him, the part that doesn't line up with the version of events he stood behind. Now, fans are split. Some are standing with Cassie, saying she's being targeted for finally speaking up. Others are wondering if the narrative around her has been too one-sided all along. But either way, Alex is caught in the middle. And no matter what side you're on, you can see it in his face. This man is going through something he never saw coming. And the internet isn't giving him a second to breathe. Dave's lawsuit didn't just send shockwaves through social media. It cracked the entire foundation Cassie had spent years trying to rebuild. In the lawsuit, he goes deep. Not just about the freak-offs, but about what he says Cassie knew, what she did, and how she allegedly took control in ways that blur the line between victim and participant. According to him, Cassie wasn't being dragged into those rooms, she was setting them up, managing who came, when, and how things would go down. He even accuses her of turning the whole operation into a twisted performance, that she would give out instructions, watch from the sidelines, and feed off the power she held in those moments. Dave claims she pushed him into doing ecstasy, into engaging in things that left him physically and mentally broken. He describes sessions where he was forced to touch himself until his skin tore and bled, and how she allegedly mocked his pain. He says she used him for entertainment like some disposable toy, and when she was done, he was just another name in her phone. It's disturbing, and whether you believe him or not, it's impossible to ignore how detailed his accounts are. The messages, the timestamps, the tone. It feels rehearsed, but not in a fake way, more like he's been holding this in for years, just waiting to unload it all at once. And now that he has, it's opened a floodgate. Multiple sources say there are at least 10 other men who are preparing to join him in a class action suit. Some of them were allegedly part of the same circle, escorts who had similar stories, some were younger, some were struggling. All of them, according to whispers, were told by Cassie when and where to show up, and all of them say the same thing. It wasn't just Diddy, Cassie was in on it. That's the real twist here, because for so long, Cassie was framed as the woman who escaped the villain, the one who stood tall, walked away, and exposed the monster. But now, the narrative is flipping. It's not that she wasn't abused, it's that she might have also played a role in dragging others down with her. And that's the part people can't stop debating. Some are defending her, saying trauma does wild things to people, that when you're deep inside an abusive cycle, you start replicating the same behaviors that were done to you. Others say that's not an excuse, that if she hurt people, especially people who were vulnerable, then she's accountable for that regardless of what Diddy did to her. And the timing of it all is making people side-eye everything. Dave's lawsuit came fast, almost too fast, right after Diddy's verdict. Like he was just waiting for the media circus to clear so he could be the next act. And some think this whole thing might be part of something bigger. A takedown effort not just aimed at Diddy, but at anyone close to him, Cassie included. But what really hit hard was Dave's claim about the pregnancy, that Cassie allegedly got pregnant with his child and made the decision to terminate it without ever telling him until after the fact. He says he's haunted by that it broke him in ways he still can't explain. That's when this stopped being just another lawsuit. That's when it turned personal. Now, Cassie's camp hasn't responded publicly to most of these claims. Her lawyers are playing it close, probably waiting to see if this thing snowballs into something much bigger. But if those other 10 men speak up, if this turns into a full-blown class action suit, Cassie might not be able to stay quiet for long. Alex Fine never expected to become a trending topic, but in the middle of the chaos, that's exactly what happened. Photos of him walking out of court, eyes low and face pale, went viral within hours. Memes flooded the internet. Tweets joked about him being the loyal husband of the year or the last to know. And beneath the surface humor, there was something darker. People genuinely questioning whether he could survive this level of public embarrassment. The noise around him got so loud that even his supporters started to worry, not just about his marriage, but about his mental health. Friends close to the couple have said he's been quiet, withdrawn, and keeping to himself. Some even claim he moved out of their shared home temporarily to process everything. Not because he stopped loving Cassie, but because the picture he had in his head of their life together had been shattered into something unrecognizable. It's not just about what Cassie may or may not have done in her past, it's the fact that her truth and the public version of it no longer line up. The Cassie he knew, the one who fought her way out of Diddy's control and rebuilt her life, suddenly felt like a stranger. And when that disconnect happens in a marriage, especially one played out in the spotlight, it cuts deep. Meanwhile, the legal pressure is only getting heavier. Reports say the federal government has been quiet on Cassie's role, mostly because their focus was always Diddy. But Dave's civil lawsuit changes that. He's now accusing the system of ignoring male victims and claims the authorities looked the other way when it came to Cassie's involvement. He's using that angle to go after damages, and according to TMZ, his legal team is preparing to subpoena communications, receipts, and travel records that could put Cassie right in the hot seat. If the class action does move forward, it won't just be about freak-offs or trauma, it'll be about consent, power dynamics, and complicity. And that could reshape how Cassie is viewed by the public forever. What started as a brave survivor story may morph into a far murkier tale of shared guilt, blurred morality, and unchecked power. Cassie's silence is strategic, but it's also risky. Every day she doesn't respond, more people begin filling in the gaps themselves, and with every new accusation that surfaces, like the STI claim, the pregnancy, or the claims of coercing escorts, the court of public opinion gets more divided. Some want to protect her, others want her held accountable. As for Alex, he's stuck in limbo. People close to him say he still loves Cassie deeply, but feels betrayed in ways he can't quite name. Not necessarily because of what she did, but because she didn't tell him everything. That's the wound that might take the longest to heal. Knowing that while he stood up for her in front of the world, she may have been keeping parts of her story hidden, even from him. They have kids. A family, a life that was carefully built away from the chaos of Cassie's past, but now that past has kicked the door in and made itself comfortable. And Alex is left trying to figure out if love is enough to hold everything together, or if some truths are too heavy to carry, no matter how deep the love goes. This isn't just celebrity drama anymore. It's personal, painful, and far from over. Because if the rumors are true and more men are preparing to speak out, Cassie's not just facing one lawsuit, she's staring down a tidal wave, and everyone, including Alex, is watching to see whether she sinks or finds a way to rise again.